It's going to be an interesting back and forth. Very different draft, very different playstyle. Should be a fun second series kicker here. Every single time, getting jabs damaged in those camps, breaking off the pull, makes it a bit trickier to find those stacks that you want to build up as a Bat Rider, and that's going to have some impact later down the line if they do maintain that. But Q, he's not finding kills, but he's being very annoying on the Tiny.
He is, and he might actually find a kill now. Avalanche Toss is going to be out onto Cuckoo. Do slow him down with the Stroke of Fate, and now the Hoof Stomp, but Fearless is going to join in with the Aether Remnant, takes the first blood, and takes the bounty away from Among Us.
But the Tidehunter does clear out camps, clears out creep waves a bit faster, and in that sense, Masaros is enjoying this 1v1. He's off to a pretty good start, number 2 in last hits, although...
Mid lane, caught by that Remnant, but will survive through the initial burst, and now wants to turn back around onto Q. Q will drop to the Storm, and now Fearless, being chased down by Jabs. Does also go down, and those are 2 really big pickoffs for Among Us.
Really, Abed, it's just he's at level 8 now. That just got a bit more difficult.
Looks like he wants to go for another kill, Abed. We go on to Jackie. Jackie gonna go for the doppel, but without that now, Jackie is just a sitting duck. Cuckoo will commit the Stampede, and it will be a very simple rotation out for Abed. To have Q around, but you need more than that. You can't just go with the Bane Tiny. Looks like they are going to back off.
Yeah, missed opportunity. They wanted to jump Savage. They need some help for that. They do find something bot though, Abed.
Yeah, he gets Fearless. Another huge pickoff for Abed. That's a bit annoying now for MG Trust, as they have to go after that tier 1 tower without the creeps. There's going to be TPs coming in. It'll be Savage showing up now. You don't have the Fiend's Grip to hold him down. Savage gonna pop the Rage onto Jackie. Masteros does have Ravage, but needs to commit very, very soon, and he has not yet. He'll hold out. Back to that tier 1 mid tower, but now the Stampede in from Cuckoo. Nightmare will be there on your Centaur, but Jab's got the lasso off. Big Ravage, however, from Masteros, and Abed gonna zip back in. Does take down Boombill, but Q also going down on the Tiny. And Masteros is still left behind on the Tidehunter, but they want to go after Fearless. Abed, does he have the damage output? He's kind of low on mana. That'll be it. A 2-for-2 trade. Both supports on both ends going down.
They are smoked up though. Jabs does have the lasso ready, and they do infest up, looking for a play.
Yeah, anyone quite yet. Fearless actually going to be the closest target to them, but they ping out Boombill. And they'll commit the lasso, go for the easy Bane kill, and now the chase will be on. See if they can get anyone else. But Masteros, again, is going to be way too difficult of a target to get through. And instead, well, they're going to zip in onto Fearless. Silence will be there from Abed, into the Vortex and the Hoof Stomp. Fearless, he did not have that Yule Scepter available, so couldn't quite purge off the silence in time, and
like, he's got the Vlads up, Hood of Defiance is there, waiting for the upgrade into the pipe, and it's just a tricky one. They're just gonna go for the safe play, chip away at objectives. That's forcing the TP back here though. There might be a fight.
Pops the essence ring there. Fearless gonna get the Yules off on Cuckoo, so he'll start on the Centaur. Cuckoo does commit the Stampede, but Ravage is gonna fly out, and it's a very nice Ravage, allowing them to jump in. Q with the Avalanche Toss, but Jabs, he got the lasso off on Fearless. They could burst down this Void Spirit perhaps, or maybe not Abed. He's running low on mana, and Motivate Trust are still fighting back, but Savage standing his ground up against Jackie, who is very, very low, and looks like he might die. Among Us, it looked kind of poor for them after that Ravage, but they just sustained themselves, and well, you lost Jabs on the Bat Rider, but you might find even more for your trouble, as you will get Fearless, and even Masteros is set to go down here up this bot lane, and it'll be a full team wipe.
Ooh, man. Among Us, just playing perfectly.
Of course, Jackie is going back toward that Eye of Skadi now on the Phantom Lancer. Just question whether it's going to be enough, though. Even that last team fight, everything went well, but They just couldn't kill anyone worth killing. Now Jabs with the Firefly gonna go in with the Infest, and Q's gonna go down, and so does the Bane. Masaros can't really do much as his Ravage is on cooldown, and now Jabs a perfect lasso off, catching Jackie, and that'll be your peel gone. In fact, they're not even done, Abed. He's going for more. He wants Fearless and the Void Spirit, but Fearless will be able to Astral Step away.
Got to be cautious. Fearless, he's going to look to flex that new item.
That top lane, Abed. Gonna get spotted by Q, gets the avalanche into the toss, and now Fearless can get the guaranteed silence off. Abed gonna plop the Bloodstone active and is gonna be alright. They can't kill him, and he's gonna turn back around onto the Bane, who could not get the Fiend's Grip off in time, and Cuckoo's gonna be there with the hoof stomp onto Q, and now Fearless, he cannot step away. It's got 5 seconds for it to be off cooldown, but the Dissimulate Juke is perhaps going to be enough. Jabs, no, he's going to get the lasso off, but he did catch the Bane. Not quite the target they wanted, but they'll take it. Now the Soulbane out from Wyman into the double vortex of Abed. They'll throw the Ravage out, but it might not be enough. They'll lose Jabs, but what does that mean when you're losing all your cores on Motivate Trust? Jackie trying to run back towards Abed, does get the Storm. And Boombell's actually going to buy back. They'll try and turn this one around. Masaros, buying time. Q, Avalanche Toss gonna be out. Whiteman, he's falling very low and looks like he will die. Now Savage, how do you deal with this? Gonna go back onto Boombell, but he's been Fiend Script up. They can't cancel it, so Savage is also gonna die. Now Q.
Oh, man.
Cuckoo trying to TP out, but he's gonna get wiped. Oh, Motivate Trust. That's a great team fight coming up.
All of a sudden, a very even game once more.
It is. Roshan going. Jackie will pick it up on the PL. Is that Scotty coming out in 400 gold? Well, Among Us, they are just sticking as a team. They can see Masaros, and they're going to try and make the jump in. He does have the Ravage. Again, can he actually die? It doesn't look like he can, so Jabs is going to jump into the backlines, but he's been nightmared up. Boombell is going to get jumped straight away by Abed, and is down. They find another. The Soulbind is going to be out on Fearless and Masaros. A big Ravage though from Masaros, but the Vortex is out from Abed, just holding him down. But here comes Q with the Avalanche, but it's not going to be enough. Among Us giving it back the way of Motivate Trust. And Jackie, the only man left, thanks to the Aegis, might be dead anyway. So Abed goes in with the Inkswell, and he won't even need it.
Oh, man.
What a back and forth game from these two.
His Dark Portrait illusion of Jackie taking out a courier. Just stalling some wards out, denying some vision, and that Roche from Among Us, it melts really quick here.
Masaros, he's coming close, but he's not going to make it in time. Jabs, nice lasso out, does catch Boombell once again, and they just burst down the Bane. Now with the Flame Break back onto Masaros, and he is not as tanky as he used to be. The Nullify making short work of him, or is it he's still trying to run, but no, he's gone. On to the next, Abed zips onto the Tiny. That'll mean Q is certainly dead. Whiteman with a triple kill on the Grimstroke of all things.
We haven't seen the effect of Jackie's Abyssal yet. He was on a different part of the map. Is building towards the Ags. Once you've got that, you can play around a bit more. He might be thinking of jumping Abed here.
He does. Abed does actually go down. It's a very nice play from Jackie. They'll go back to their triangle, but Jabs is posturing underneath an Observer Ward now, but so are the side of Motivate Trust. Jabs still that lasso is going to go on Fearless. They break the Lincolns, and the Fiend's Grip is going to do nothing. And now Abed with a 3-man Vortex off on the Storm is just going to melt them. Jackie's trying to run, but they are gone.
Oh, man.
See you later, Masaros.
Oh boy, that was just wonderful from Among Us. The Dark Portrait of Whitemon was zoning Masaros out, like he was stuck there. He was losing mana from that Dark Portrait. The Ags paying massively to break the team fight up, split up MG Trust, and they're going straight for tier 4s.
Yeah, it's over. There's no buybacks left. One Vortex from Abed and the game's over. Of course, all props to Jabs for getting that lasso before he could get Bean's gripped by the Bane. Well, that'll be game 1 to Among Us, but John, all props to Motivate. They made it look like a really even game for most of that game number 1.
So this is going to be a farm for farm trading lane, and it should actually benefit Cuckoo a bit more just to maintain that pace. You know, Bloodseeker with the early Veil can do a lot of damage and can set the pace of the game. Something they're going to have to be careful about.
Top lane, Masteros gonna be the first blood, and Jabs, he just keeps rushing forward. Boombill could not get away from this man, and eventually Jabs will go down, but he does help set up both kills and eventually takes one for himself, and that's gonna be a great start out for Among Us. It just seems like they're more than happy to make Cuckoo run around instead of being in the bot lane. Be the idea here, but even Boombill gonna sneak up from behind now. Cuckoo, but won't be able to get anything done. Meanwhile, mid lane, Fearless is dropping very low. He's going to juke out the torrent. Does get a toss off. Abed wants to go for the final swing, and the Thunderstrike is going to be out from Whiteman as well. But now the Snowball is coming into Abed, and this should be a trade. That will be Q able to pick up that one on the Oracle. But you're still very happy if you're Abed. And even top lane Jabs, he just rushes Masteros with the Auto Titan again and offers him a glass of water.
Yeah, that's one thing you've got to watch out for, just the amount of damage that the ET can do. Jabs has been running down Lazarus for a while. You can't leave that lane alone, and they do finally send Q up to do some damage, but Jabs is already happy.
Mid lane, they end up actually dropping Whiteman, and now Q ends up killing off Jabs on his way out. Speaking of tier 1, Savage has gotten started on that top tier 1 tower. Masteros not wanting to get too close to this Morphling, who is out-leveling him by 1. Make matters worse for Masteros. Jabs is here, but a great avalanche toss out from Fearless. Sneaking up behind 23 Savage and does end up getting the kill with the avalanche toss.
Slowly build in on the NP, still a lot slower than you'd want, but it's a better time than even Cuckoo. Like, you compare that to Cuckoo's off, still at 4. No rupture up yet, no farm at all.
So rough, but Masteros is going to get glimpsed back at least. Cuckoo's still in danger, has TPs coming in, but it's not going to matter. Fearless able to set up for Jackie, and now Arbet does rotate, but the Edict is going to stop the magic damage coming out on Fearless. Arbet's still going to go for the chase, but Fortune's End, no, it's not going to be enough. But they'll turn around now on that Kunkka. Arbet, he's a tanky man, but he may not be tanky enough as he is dropping quite low and does go down to Q on the Oracle. And MG Trust, they are really taking a nice lead in this game number 2. Cuckoo does TP back in, but this bot lane is just completely lost for Among Us.
Oh yeah, and all they find is a trade for Masteros up top, opening up that push once more for Savage, but losing Cuckoo again is not worthwhile. That's not the trade. Savage is doing the right thing, playing in that top jungle, where there are no real wards, nothing to stop that farm, and that's the best you can hope for right now.
Masteros does TP bot and does find Whiteman. He gets the sprout off, but gets glimpsed back immediately. Nature's Wrath will fly through. Among Us, I'm not sure if they can take this fight. Snowball going to be out on Jabs, but that'll force out the boat from Arbet. Right onto Boombill. He's pretty low with that Rupture and he's going to drop it. Now Savage is going to join his team. They do pick off Fearless on that mid-tiny. Chase continues. They'd love to get Jackie on this Drow. That Blood Right going to be well positioned with the torrent out from Arbed, and that means this Drow Ranger may have just lost his life though. No, they do get the false promise off in time, but Savage has got so much damage coming out. I think Jackie might just die anyway, and will. Cuckoo has him surrounded with Savage, and there goes your Drow. Not to mention Q also being caught now on the Oracle does go down, and Boombill is not out of the woods yet. He just brought back on that task, but they're just going to keep rushing him. Savage on top, goes for the waveform through, gets tossed back by Fearless. They do lose Jabs. Have they gone too far? Snowball is out from Boombill, but no. They don't seem to have the damage output. Savage is actually blocked up by those trees. Thinking about turning back around. Fearless, avalanche toss on Abed. Just trying to get that Kunkka down. He is now trapped in the Sprout, but still on the run. Turns around for a Tidebringer, but does eventually go down. Savage might not want to stick around that area. Do toss Boombell in. He's got the Walrus Punch. He's got the Snowball available, but Savage is going to waveform. Still, the Snowball is going to follow him down. They have control, but a great stomp out from Jabs. It's going to stop him in their tracks.
Like, there's not enough to really maximize it as well. That does put the utility back just a touch for Among Us on that Bloodseeker. Down mid, though.
Abed gets the X off on Boombell, but the Snowball will be there in time, and Whitemon, he's already gone, and now Fearless, well, he gets blown up by Savage. So 1 for 1, but it looks like Among Us are going to be ahead here. There's Boombell, he'll try for the TP, Abed will just X him back, and that'll be Boombell gone. And of course, meanwhile, Q, he is also surrounded with the False Promise out, does get the TP off in time, but does die in the fountain. That'll be a 3 for 1 trade, I believe it was. Only Whitemon going down for Among Us.
Yeah, get the big kills. You punish Fearless for being a bit too keen, and you're building up still. There's just a lot more room to grow as the game goes late and they find more.
Caught Jackie, that's the big one. Bloodright to come in. Masaros TP'd into the Bloodright, and maybe he saved the Drow, but he's given his own life away here. Trying to run, Fearless, a great avalanche toss with the multi-shot out. Jabs, very low, does go down to the Purifying Flames, but there goes Masaros. So dying on the Prophet. Savage just going to TP his way out on the Morph. You've got such low cooldowns. I mean, there's essentially no cooldowns apart from the False Promise. You may as well just keep going. Fearless into Savage, that'll be a massive pickoff. Avalanche toss, not quite enough. Not even with the multi-shot. Savage will try to waveform out. Now the trade. They want to turn around and fight here. Among Us do get the boat out. Onto Jackie. With the stomp out from Jabs, still Fearless. Going to jump back in for an avalanche toss, but Cuckoo just trying to get out. Will not be able to. The Fortune's End is going to be enough. Who are they aiming here? Jabs getting trapped up on the low ground. Can't get the stomp off in time. He'll also be the one to go down. And they're going to try for a Roshan play.
Like, MG Trust are just all over the map, forcing the aggression. Among Us need more time to farm, and they're not being given that time.
Go for a smoke. Spirit is going to go through, and they know Jabs is pinging it out. Cuckoo, oh, stuck around there with an avalanche toss out from Fearless. He is a bit tankier than you'd expect now, so Bloodright is going to be able to come out with the rupture. The Snowball tiny away, but Fearless going to have to take the stop now from Jabs, but it's going to be no follow-up to that.
Yeah, it's not the biggest loss in the world for Among Us. Again, they've already kind of resigned to Cuckoo's fate and Cuckoo's farm. Got to be careful still showing up here, not very safe.
Whitemon, he could go for a glimpse back, but the Snowball is going to buy them some time to run. There's your glimpse coming out onto Fearless with a Static Storm and Kinetic Field. And this Tiny, well, he'll get used up. Might buy him enough time. In fact, it does, but the X is now going to be there from Arbit. Great shots out from Boombell, locking them in, and now Fearless back out with the toss, straight onto Jabs, but the Elder Titan is still not dying. Now poor old Masaros going to get glimpsed back on the Prophet. They do finally kill Jabs, but can they retreat without being punished? Oh, that's a nice snowball once again from Boombell. Buy time to avoid the boat. Now with the multi-shot going back in, but here comes Savage trying to go after Q. In fact, no, they'll focus on Boombell. That'll be a Tuskon. Fearless, he's just bleeding in the corner. Can't really help right now as he waits for the rupture to wear off, and it finally does. So he'll go after Whitemon. Doesn't really finish off the kill, or does actually with that tree throw, but it's going to cost him his own life, or perhaps not. The False Promise is out now from Q. Cuckoo still going in with the Bloodright. Is going to go down to Q on the Oracle. Savage go back in for the Prophet. Eventually might be able to get him, but no. Again, Q saving the day. And now our Drow can turn back around onto Abed and get that damage out. Abed with that Heaven's Halberd going to be able to walk away. And now Savage going back onto the Drow. It's literally Abed versus Savage versus the world. Boombell going to come back in with the Walrus Punch now. Abed getting a reset. He's XTPing and coming back into this fight very, very soon to help out Savage once again. Torrent is going to be there. The Fortune's End flying all the way back from the fountain onto Masaros. The Prophet is very low, but Savage is even lower and does end up finally dropping. And now Abed has been left alone with no friends. Well, I say that. Whiteman is just around the corner. Not much he can do as the Disruptor to help out. He'll drop a kinetic field. Rupture out on Boombell. Cuckoo now going to come back into the fight. But they do not want to continue. They want to disengage, and they will get away with Abed intact. Once that Spirit Vessel gets put on Savage and he doesn't have any way to spell it, it does get very problematic for this Morphling. Bot lane, Jabs going to be picked off by Fearless, who is very, very deep, and this might cost him his life. They throw the Torrent and the boat in, and Savage with the Tiny Morph does manage to get up the kill. They leave him be. They'll go for the Roshan play.
It's a bit sneaky. You don't have the wards there, and that's a real quick one. Savage picks it up.
Savage does take care of that tier 2 top tower, and
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Smoke up now.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
Savage's courier, though, he's going to lose that Reaver. So not going to be able to quite finish off the Satanic yet. But run into Boombell and Jackie. Abed should see Jackie there with the Blood Ride and does get the X off in time. Jackie, however, pops the BKB. Will be right, and now Fearless going to go in onto Jabs, but he'll also be safe. Jackie now. Or Fearless rather, getting glimpsed back on the Tiny. Trapped up by that Static Storm and really has nowhere to go. He'll try to force stuff to the low ground, but Savage is on the case. He is stuck. Does Ghost form up, but it probably won't matter. Eventually Savage should be able to get the kill and does. Meanwhile, Abed was chasing for more on the Kunkka. Wasn't able to quite catch anyone out there.
MG Trust, they've smoked up. This is going to be into certain tier 4 items though. The Princess Knife might turn him off a bit there.
Possibly do so. Fearless does get in to cancel the TP of Jabs, and they do blow up the Titan. Boat not going to really connect onto Fearless. He does Yules away. Masaros, as usual, getting glimpsed out of the team fight, but Cuckoo is going to be left behind, and they do clean up a 2-for-0. Defensive abilities being thrown out by Motivate Trust that they can't really burst down anyone. All props to Q, by the way, on the Oracle. He's been doing an amazing job.
Oh, yeah. Been on point. You know, the Blink has been paying dividends. MG Trust, they do smoke up, though. Had a bit of enough of that.
Savage gonna get jumped on. Fearless does not get the Avalanche, and now does get Ruptured. Static Storm gonna hold him in place. They don't really want to give up this Tiny like this, but they may not have a choice. Does go down. And Jackie, he is very far forward, so they just jump him immediately. That'll force the buyback from Fearless.
Radiant's bottom barracks are under attack.
Jackie, it's going to be okay, but Boombell will not be. Now, well, they're looking for more Abed. A great stop out from Jabs into Abed's X. And Fearless, he did just buy back. They can't afford to lose him like this. You know, Masaros will control up the side with the Hex onto Jabs, but Cuckoo will take care of him, and Fearless is gone on the Tiny. He does die back, and now Jackie also being caught out on the Drow. An ultra kill after Savage, making a Rampage.
Oh boy, MG Trust, and they've been so patient for so long. Roshan, third of the game, going the way of Among Us. That's a refresh shard along with the Ages and Cheese. They are just ready to go to catch one out.
Masaros, nah, he'll be right. Fate's Edict. Slow down Savage for a second. He has wanted to find Rapier. Alright, Savage has had enough of this game.
The only thing to stop him is Q's disarm, so that's really what they're going to depend on now.
Where is the Divine? He's keeping it in the courier for now. Does bring it out. Is that active? Okay, into that Elder Titan form. Masteros always been hexed up, so Savage looking for that Oracle, doesn't quite get that, but just blows up Boombill, and now the Abyssal is out on Jackie. He'll try and Hurricane Pike away. They'll just focus on Masteros instead, and now Jackie will be focused down by Savage, who does get into the back lines and just hits him as the Elder Titan. But toss back, not quite to the fountain, but they got the Hex off on Savage, but he has been strength morphing. Does have the Aegis anyway. That'll be enough for Among Us. They get the racks, they back off.
And they force feed him mangoes in the base too. Just getting to that full mana point. Efficiency, Mike, it's always important. MG Trust now. I mean, their one racks is protected. They've still got an outer tower left, but not going to hold on to these the top range.
Fearless. Oh, Fearless, you can't die like this. Not right now. Caught by that kinetic field, and he's gone. The big crit out from Savage.
I think they have to go for tier 4s. Yeah, the tier 2 is still up. Just gonna go for that end game, and without the Tiny, your control is kind of gone here.
Radiant's bottom barracks are under
It's one tier 4 gone. That's another quick tier 4 gone for Savage, and he's just gonna waveform through. He is done with this game. He wants the Ancient. And he's going to go straight for it. They can't really slow him down. Or can they? They get the Hex off from Masteros. Boats flying in. He'll waveform the other way. Another disarm. But he is focused in on those objectives. And that is it. GG Warplane is called. And Among Us will win their second 2-0 victory throughout these group stages thus far.
Oh yeah, I mean, this time around, MG Trust did make them work for it. They had a lot of back and forth, a lot of good showings from MG Trust, just not enough